Apologies to ask, but can you guys grab the microphone?
For another month to get everything tight. I think it's more prudent than having to rush through stuff and having to
The minutes, I think the only thing
rehash
that
it.
I saw, just, I think you said Ellen gave the financial update.
I'm ready when you guys.
She was here, right? 'Cause she's not
What do you say?
listening to us.
Ready when you are.
Okay,
So,
we are ready. So let's open Wednesday, September 17, 2005, Finance Board meeting at 6:05. So, first thing we have on the agenda, it's light tonight, is approval of minutes.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes from the 6/18/25 meeting.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I think there's just one minor edit. I think it says that Ellen reported the results. I can't remember.
This one was from, this is 2 meetings ago, though.
Is it
Yeah.
2 meetings ago?
Two
Okay,
meetings ago, so,
okay.
yes.
That
So
it?
then it should be good.
All right. Seeing as there's none, all those in favor? Perfect. 5-0.
I don't think you were here.
Yeah, it was.
That was not the, that's the,
Oh.
it's not the June.
My bad. I have to abstain.
I think it was just,
I didn't get those.
so, it's confusing. when I read
Okay.
Do we have July minutes?
Didn't have a meeting in July.
Didn't meet in July.
So I will make the
Perfect.
motion to approve the 8/20/25 minutes.
Awesome.
And I'll second them.
it. It sounds like I need to make one correction, actually. I just had quoted that Ellen reviewed the town audit results. I think it was just a quote, but it's a little confusing, so I'll change that line. And
Okay, to read.
town administrator reported the town audit results.
Okay.
Motion to approve with edit.
As amended.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Awesome, seeing as there's none, all those in favor? I can vote on this one? Good, good, 5-0. Perfect. Okay, so let's move on to the 26th budget update.
Thank you. So I touched base with the town accountant, and we are still in the middle of closing out fiscal year 2025, and we're also looking at certifying free cash. So we typically don't send out the variance report in August, but we are starting to close out the month for August and July, and we should have the updated financial figures for fiscal year 26 to share with you at the next meeting. From an overall overarching perspective, everything is trending as it's supposed to be. We're still very early in the year, so there's nothing that stands out to us at this point in time, even with not having those numbers to share with you this evening.
Terrific. We'll start at the left-hand side of the table tonight, this time. Melissa, you have anything?
I have nothing on the budget at this time.
Mark?
Nothing.
Adam?
All set?
Brian?
No, I have nothing at this time.
Neither do I. Okay, let's move right on. Update from the town administrator. You're up again.
Yes, I am. So I do not have much to report. So we are looking to send out the emails that we typically send out to the departments, alerting them that it's time to start considering fiscal year 2027 capital improvement plan. So if there's any additional projects that they're looking for, additional needs that have come up that have not been reported since last year, they need to bring those forward. And we also need them to report on prior reported projects that they have brought forward. We did have a funding plan, a 5-year funding plan that we put in place. We had identified a couple of funding sources in the years for those to be funded. However, we reevaluate that every year when we look for any new requests or any new priorities that have come up, and to evaluate whether or not something has escalated due to further deterioration or current needs. So those should be going out this week. Once we receive those back, we will then go through that evaluation process, and then we will be presenting you an updated capital improvement plan for fiscal year 2027 to fiscal year 2032.
5-year look ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on doing a 10-year look ahead, just to, broaden the scope?
We can. I know that this fiscal year, we are going to be looking a little bit more closely at 2 larger capital improvement projects that we just don't think that we can wait any longer. Those projects being the roofs here at the town hall complex, so both at the town public safety building here at the town hall, as well as the library building. And we also talked at length in previous meetings about the town hall electrical complex rewiring that's necessary and needed in order to be in compliance with our insurance, and also to make sure that there's no issues that arise. We had approved a project for the generator over at the 181 Main Street at the public safety building, but due to electrical loads and other things, it's not advised that we take on that project at this point in time. So again, the more work that's needed to be done to these buildings, whether it be HVAC or any work of that nature, has caused an issue with our electrical system, and so we need to take that as a priority as we continue to move forward. So we believe that working with our financial advisors, that we're going to take a closer look at bundling those projects and see exactly what we could potentially take on for debt for the upcoming fiscal year. And again, weighing those options. We do have a donation that was made for the library, specifically for the library building. We do think that that might be an opportunity for us to bundle the project together, and then also offset some of our reoccurring costs with that donation for the portions of the project that pertain to the library. So that will help alleviate the strain on our budget as well. But we are, again, taking a closer look at that. And because of projects of that nature, because they're larger in scale, because we typically don't have larger scale projects in our capital plan, they're more so pieces of equipment or, shorter fixes, we will be taking a closer look at more of a 10-year lookout instead of a 5-year lookout, just because those types of borrowing require you to take into consideration longer-term borrowing needs. We're not looking for a debt exclusion or anything of that nature, but again, to your point, it surpasses what we typically do just because of the nature of the project.
Cool. Let's start at this end of the table. Brian, anything to?
Yes, it's for you, Rebecca. I have 2 areas of just, not concern, but just questions. The first one is the retirement that we have for the employees. When do you get notice of the increase for the retirement that you have to put away for? When do you normally get notified of that?
So typically, it's based upon the prior year earnings of the employees. So once we get the reportings, we typically do those in January. We really don't get the actual allocation for our community until around the January timeframe, so December, January.
Okay, and then the second part of it is now the health insurance. Would that be the same formula?
Unfortunately, the health insurance usually comes in a lot later. We are a member of the Group Insurance Commission, the GIC, through the state, and so they don't necessarily get us the increase until sometimes, March, beginning of April. So we work on assumptions. They try and give us an estimate, but we really don't get those final numbers until it's the last hour.
So from your office, what is your guesstimate that you provide to us for that?
So I don't
Like a
have.
10% jump, 5% jump? I mean, what would the number be?
So I don't have an exact figure. Technically, what we do is we try and take as many of all of the employees that we have, and we put them onto a spreadsheet, and we identify exactly which plans that they've signed up for. And then we take a look at what we have for our staffing and our employee count to see exactly if there's gonna be any vacancies. And then we also try and take into consideration that, employees that we currently have that are not on our group health insurance could potentially go on our group health insurance, and we don't want to not be covered for that. So then we take that number into consideration, and we put them on the highest plan that we have for that particular fiscal year. And then we typically do a 5-year look back to see exactly what we have for what we've increased those fiscal years. It's been a little bit more of a struggle recently because we've been pretty steady with the GIC for quite some time. We've been, a steady 6% increase from fiscal year to fiscal year. The last 2 years have been much larger increases than we've seen in the past. I think the fiscal year '24 was 10%. This last fiscal year, it was 11%. So again, they're much higher increases. So we start with what we at least got increased last year and kind of try and see exactly what we're hearing from the state, and we play with those numbers. But we like to have a better understand, the initial part of our process is to get a full employee count, get the current plans, get the current premiums, get all of that information with the caveats of potential additional employees. And then we play with that number, and we just kind of keep it at the 11%, and then again, swap it out and make the best guess we possibly can until we get that final figure.
Okay, thank you.
Adam?
Doesn't have to be right now, we can take it offline if you want, but do you have any more information on the electrical issues in the complex? Just,
We had an electrical engineer, we put aside capital improvement monies to hire an electrical engineer to come in and put together a plan and a cost estimate and an actual plan that we would need to do, separating the public safety as they are an emergency center, taking both town hall and the library off of that circuit and doing whatever they need to do. So we did engage with an engineering firm, so we do have extensive specifications and plans that I can share with you.
all right.
Anything else?
Nope, that was all.
All right. Mark? Melissa?
I just had a question. I know you had mentioned at the last meeting, the budget process would be a little bit different now that some of that, falls under your purview with the town administrator bylaw. So I think you had said we would still be able to meet with the departments, but ultimately the budget would be based on what you were looking for. Is that correct?
So when I read the town administrator bylaw, it charges the town administrator, it's saying that the town administrator shall provide a budget to the select board and to town meeting for approval. So I would imagine that that process, again, is a little different than what we've had in the past. So I would think that, we've already kind of altered the process from where it was originally since I started. So I've been meeting with the departments in December. The finance board's been meeting with the departments from January until the March timeframe. So I think that, again, we would still have the process where they would be making their budgetary requests. Those would be taken into consideration. And I know that the board always waits for the actual budget book to be provided to them. And what I think will end up happening this year, and again, it's not finalized, but the way I kind of see it unfolding would be that the departments would meet with me in the December timeframe with their requests, as they typically do, and we would have them provide a cover sheet and what it is that they're requesting, and then I would make a request booklet. And then that request booklet would go to the finance board, and the finance board can review and meet with the departments, as it typically has done from the January to March timeframe. My budget that I would be presenting wouldn't be released until later on, and as you've seen over the years, it's been later and later because I'm not getting my final revenue numbers until later on, and I don't have all of my estimates as well, because we just don't know what the state's doing, and then, as to Brian's point, GIC and all these other last-minute numbers that are being thrown at us. So I don't plan on presenting my full package until the early March timeframe as well, but that package would be presented to the finance board as well as the select board. So again, I'm not sure if there's too much of a difference. I think that the last year is kind of a little bit similar, but the packages will be a little bit more specific to what my office is proposing than just general in nature, and won't have a requested item, approved item, or proposed item, et cetera.
Okay.
Eddie?
And I'm welcome to feedback and trying to work out what works best. I want it to be a very smooth process. I'm really excited about it this year, to have ownership in that process and make sure that I'm putting something forward that I strongly believe in and that I can back up as well. So if there is feedback that the board would like to offer, I definitely would accept that.
Awesome. Two quick questions. You talked about borrowing money. Do you know what our bond rating is right now?
Not off the top of my head, but I think it's, double,
Because that's going to be the main driver of the cost of the borrowing.
it's high, it's good. It's a AAA from Moody's in January 2023 is what the first one, I'd have to pull up the rest, but
Okay, cool. And second question is, and you may not know it, have you got a feel yet of what the school, specifically Pentucket, because that is the 80-pound gorilla in the room, what they're going to come in at? I mean, I know that you and I, tried to put some raw numbers together for the meeting on Monday, and we threw out 4.56 as an average, which I don't think that's going to be the case, but do we have any, gut feel, you sensing anything from the meetings you are a part of every month?
they haven't necessarily disclosed anything about the budget. I think that with what they have proposed for fiscal year '26, things are looking good for them. But again, they haven't really stated that they have any idea of what they're going to be requesting for fiscal year '27. But given the fact that they did have to make cuts and that they did have to identify other revenue sources in order to keep some of the programming in place and positions in place that they had, like with the full-day kindergarten, I think that could be a larger number than we're able to or that we could accommodate. But they haven't said so. I'm just going by the fact that they've said that they've been underfunded and they don't have enough revenue. So I would imagine that they would still want to request a larger sum than we're able to provide. But they haven't given us any inclination as to the fact that if they will do that, and what that number would look like. It's more so just, that's kind of how it's been happening.
I imagine they don't want to let the cat out of the bag too early and cause just absolute chaos.
They've only been back for 2 weeks.
Huh?
They've only been back for 2 weeks. Let them spend the money.
It's never too early to plan.
I understand.
Mr. Chair, I have a quick question.
Yeah, so not yet. And, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Rebecca, just a quick question. Does Pentucket High School have on-site daycare for children that may have, students that may have children and/or staff?
I'm not sure. I don't believe so,
Not
but
that
I'm
I'm
not
aware of.
sure 100%.
So besides the kindergarten, they have nothing for any children younger than that on
I
site,
don't
as far as you
believe
know?
so.
Okay,
Again, not that I'm aware. I do know that the Page Elementary School has a daycare in it, but again, that's run independently of PRSD, so I don't believe that they do have a program of that nature.
okay, thank you.
Anything follow?
Good.
Mark, anything follow?
Good.
I had a question, and I know what it is now. The high school has been doing, I've noticed, a tremendous job renting out their fields, trying to generate revenue. I know when I was a select board member, I used to actively pursue these AAU teams to practice on and play on our fields to generate some revenue. That's not happening anymore. Have they taken the bulk of that, or is nobody actively pursuing these brick and mortar places that look for homes to play? Because the fields are, ugh.
They're definitely still utilizing the field. Even the Pentucket Regional School District is using the baseball field down at the Pines.
For practice.
As well as the softball league. So we still are having people rent down at the Pines Recreation Area as well. But I do know that the turf fields are great, and I know that people definitely want to play on them. So things have been picking up over there, but we haven't necessarily seen any impact for any rentals or field use permits that we have here.
Yeah, it was hard to go by that field during the summer on a Saturday or Sunday and not see a baseball game being played, and I know that, thinking Seymour's raking in some dough here. All right, I'm done. Moving right along, any update from the Community Preservation Committee?
Actually, quite a lengthy update.
Oh, boy, okay, shoot then.
We held a public hearing on September 8th to discuss potential projects coming up for the 2026 year. A number of them were brought forward. First one being bathroom replacement at the Shanahan Field. The committee has also requested to investigate potentially bringing Washington Park into that as well, and see if we can maybe double down and save a couple dollars by doing the same contractor type of thing. Perry Park Phase 2, based on the concept developed in Phase 1 project, will likely be coming through as an open space project. Potential of a Washington Hall parking lot. I don't have any information on that, but it was mentioned. There's another project that may be put forward to tackle the lily pads at Johnson Pond. And they had previously done a project, hydro raking, and it was successful for a couple of years, but then they needed to circle back, and it's at a point where it needs to be done again. So this particular project is looking at potentially buying a specialty piece of equipment to do the hydro raking in-house instead of
Farming it out.
farming it out. Another project put forward for lighting upgrades at the Pines, to light up the second baseball field, the area where the football league practices, and potentially pickleball and basketball courts. Plans still being developed on that one.
So that would be the baseball field,
The open area where Groveland Day was set up, where the football
yeah,
practices.
that Pentucket football practices, that piece of flat land,
Yeah.
the baseball field, because the softball field already has the lights, the pickleball and the tennis courts.
Yeah.
That's the light, okay.
And then another project that may come up, and this is TBD, the Vito project that was put forward last year, looks like it's not gonna have enough money to complete the project. I myself volunteered to become the project manager of that project and kind of help them develop a plan and go forward. I don't think there's enough money left in the project that was extended from last year to do it, so what may happen is we may scrap that project and go, develop a plan and come forward with a new project that is able to actually finish that. But that's still yet to be determined. They have a little committee that we're doing meetings and trying to figure out what it is they want. And then we can kind of determine from there. But unfortunately, they bound themselves to a scope from 2017 that they didn't write. And there's a lot of work, taking out windows and blocking them in, and there's just not enough money to do that, but then they're kind of bound by the scope. So I think the best approach is going to be to scrap it and start over. But I'm not on their committee or speak for their committee. They put the project forward. I'm just trying to help get it done, because as far as I'm concerned, it's just been dragging on for far too long.
It's 20 years.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at math, I get that. So I volunteered, like I say, to take it over and see it through to the end, but I don't want to steal it from them either, so if.
So they formed a subcommittee to kind of look into this?
Yeah.
And they report back to you with their findings?
Yeah, well, I'm meeting with them.
Okay.
To kind of steer them in the right direction of what they actually need so that this can be completed.
That would be nice.
I thought so. As far as the 2025 projects that were approved last year, the trail enhancement project, planning is ongoing. Work likely not going to start until springtime. The affordable housing project is ongoing, but it's not going to be ready for a 2026 application for funds to fund that. Unfortunately, the timing isn't going to work out on that. And the Groveland Congregational Church is still working on their preservation restriction before they can move forward with that project for the bell. And the skate park is about to begin, what is it, Rebecca, like next week?
They're prepping the site right now, being the highway department, so they're expected to begin next Monday, correct?
And then plan for completion on that is 2020, by calendar year 2025. That's all I've got.
Well, okay. Let's start at this end of the table. This time, Melissa. He gave us a whole lot. Have anything?
You did give us a whole lot. I don't think I have anything specific to any of these projects. There's some things I maybe would like to kind of circle back with on maybe with just the Conservation Committee themselves. I know Perry Park had a lot of Japanese knotweed as part of the project.
Yep.
And we have significant other places throughout town where that is located, and it does take specific,
It's coming up on that time of the year.
we're in
To
the
do it.
window for
Right.
spraying it, you're almost past the window at this point, but I know there are some residents who are dealing with it because it's on town property in other areas. So I might reach out to someone there to just see how we might be able to work some sort of,
Yeah, Stephanie
Of
Bartel was the
plan.
ringleader of that one, and she knows everything about that knotweed.
yeah, I've treated it at my own property and my neighbors too. In 1 year, I've had no return. But like I said, I know there are some residents who, it's on town property, that neighbor's there, so unless the town combats what's on the town property, they're not gonna make any success on their own.
So it abuts their property, and it's
And it grows.
pollination and
Well, it grows underground, so if you're not treating the whole piece of it, it's just gonna keep growing and spreading, so. But that was just more something that came up out of the conversation, but
okay. That it?
that's it, yeah.
Mark?
No, good job coordinating all these, it's a lot.
They just bring them, I just write them down.
You gave the spiel, so I don't imagine you have any more to talk about. Brian?
Yeah, I just trying to get caught up in my notes. When is the expected completion date again for the skate park?
Calendar year 2025,
So soon.
so end of the year, December.
Okay, thank you. Other than that, I have no other questions.
All right. Just got a couple. I was actually around when they did this bathroom at Shanahan Field, and it wasn't that long ago. It needs to be replaced.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
That's, the story was they put in like an RV-type system, and it's not connected to the sewer. So it has a holding tank that has to be pumped out, and the toilets are in various states of disrepair. So the recommendation was made to try and replace it.
Wow, at the time, I was on Capitol at the time, and I remember they came to us, it was a small amount, and then it ballooned into this large amount.
It originally was done on a CPA project for like $90-something thousand.
Yeah, and at the time, I was led to believe that it was hooked into the sewer along, what's that, Main Street?
Yeah.
And the gravity fed, so I guess I was misled.
That is the plan for the new one.
As they are, yeah. Washington Park would be great. It's just, there's no sewer over there. That's been the tough part for for years. Next question is, why does Washington Hall need a parking lot? Do they get that many visitors in a day, a month, a year?
I don't speak for Washington Hall. I share your concerns.
Yeah. I just thought, I just want to throw it out there. Lily Pond has always been a problem down at Johnson Pond. And, yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any follow-up questions? No? All right, we'll move right along. Trashing, recycle. Okay, what can I say about that? Anybody that was there Monday knows that it was really, I don't know, kind of a chaotic scene. We haven't had a meeting since then, but it was definitely eye-opening to me. As a matter of fact, it's made me change. I had an epiphany, and I've reached a whole new perspective on the whole subject. But we don't have a lot, I don't have a lot to update you on. You saw with the trash committee, if you were at the meeting or tuned in on Monday, you saw with the trash and recycle committee that has worked diligently for 3 years to try and provide some relief to the taxpayers over time. I get it, you know, a lot of people don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to pay more taxes either. But I'm pretty sure an override would be an increase in taxes, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. So I'm not sure that's the answer either, but anyways. There is no update because we haven't had a meeting since Monday's meeting, and I'm not sure where we stand at that point. The variables have to be decided by folks other than us. That's up to the select board. They have to set this, basically they have to set the first variable, which is size. After that, it becomes relatively, not easy, I would say, Rebecca, but that is that's the elephant in the room. Once that's decided, a lot of those cards should fall pretty easily after that. Would you agree? So, that's where we stand, and we're just as unknowing as all the rest of you are now, because that decision lays in the hand of 5 people, and I'm not one of them. So, that's my update. We'll start at this end of the room if you have any questions. However, I will, you know, I'm not going to allow it to be kind of an inquisition like it was last meeting. If you have some questions, I'll try to answer them, but, you know, I'm not going to let you hang me up on a cross this time. So,
Yeah.
Brian,
Okay, I'll start. No, first of all, I want to, through you, the Trash and Recycle Committee has done a well job in an area that is very volatile to the community, so I commend the Trash and Recycle Committee for that. At this particular point in time, I have really no questions or concerns. I've been observing the meetings, both through TV or coming to the meetings. My questions and concerns are being answered through those or through other people asking questions. I think we're on the right path. There are obviously outstanding issues that need to be resolved, but like you said, there's 5 people that need to make that determination. When that happens, I may have more questions then, but for now, no.
all right, I really sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Adam?
I've got nothing.
Oh, I love you too. Mark?
No, I don't have anything. I
man.
started to look at, independently, look at the neighboring towns, and, you know, I've compiled some data, which I'm sure you guys have already seen, but I did
Ad
email you.
nauseam.
Yeah, I just.
But we'll take any data
if
and
there's
any
anything-
suggestions.
yeah, if there's
Believe
anything
me.
you do.
You know, I've heard a lot, as a matter of fact, at Groveland Day, I can't remember, I can't even count the number of people that I almost feel I was accosted by. And a lot of comments, a lot of things, but what was really absent from a lot of the conversations was, here's a solution I have. So if you have one, Mark, we're all ears.
So actually, I
Just
used
throw-
some AI prompts to actually go and sort of quickly search what the other towns in the area, and all of Essex County are doing, and then highlight the towns that are roughly the same size. And there are a lot of differences. We don't have to get into any of that, but there,
Then share that with us,
Yep.
with the committee. We'd love to have that kind of data, if it differs from the data that we've been looking at, and it can maybe help us connect more dots and better educate why we need to do this, not only from a fiscal point of view, but from an environmental point of view. It certainly would help. Nothing could hurt at this point.
Sure,
So
sure.
we welcome every and all suggestions. We don't turn anybody away. Melissa?
No questions. Obviously, I watched the meeting remotely. You know, it was a very back and forth dialogue, absolutely. Very opinions on both sides of the line. I think there were some good questions brought up by some residents that, you know, we haven't thought about, how it affects them. But other than that, no questions.
Yeah, and like I said, I had an epiphany that night. I can't wait to share it with the committee. And I have nothing to say, because I haven't said it.
Can I actually?
Oh, man, you.
No.
I was just about to buy all you guys around at the bar, but okay, go ahead, spoil it.
No, I do want to, the presentation that Arthur presented at the beginning of that I found very helpful to myself, and I'm just curious if there's a way that residents who didn't watch that meeting could access that information.
We can put it on the website.
Yeah, at times I found the presentation somewhat confusing and somewhat contradictory, and that I think led to some of the confusion and the chaos, and they have to, answer the same misinformation question time and time again. That was what I pulled back from that, but anyways, it is what it is. We'll move right on.
Mr. Chair, I did misspeak. I just wanted to let you know that in January 2023, our bond rating with Moody increased from an AA3 to an AA2, and Standard Poor was an AA+.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for sharing that with us. Appreciate that. You're always Johnny on the spot. Next, plan the next meeting. So
October 15th.
is that what we're looking at?
Wednesday, yep.
Works for me. Does that work for everybody? Melissa?
That looks fine for me.
Mark?
Yep.
Brian?
What was it, October what?
October 15th.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right. So we'll set the next meeting for October 15th.
6 o'clock again.
Yeah, it's like I said to Rebecca when I called it. Typically, I work from home on these meetings, but today I had a executive management meeting that I had to be in Canton for, so I couldn't get out of it. And then I thought I left in enough time, but
There's no enough time coming from Canton.
man, I'll tell you, just one person changing the tire on the side of the road can ruin your whole day.
So that'll be October 15th at 6 PM?
Correct.
Thank you.
And as far as the agenda goes, you all, I believe I shared my work email with all of you, which is the best and easiest way to get me because I'm probably on that 24/7, more than my home email. So if you have an agenda item that you'd like to have discussed, please throw that at me. We'll see what we have and put it on there. You're part of the committee. I'm hoping to get, as much input from the people that I value here, which is all of you, as much as I can.
I do have just one quick question, if I may, Mr. Chair.
As long as it's not about trash and recycle. you
No,
can
it's
go ahead.
not. No, it's actually a potential next topic down the road, but I just need clarification. We have no input at all with the Water and Sewer Department in any financial decisions they choose to make or not to make
That
in
is
any way,
correct.
shape, or
The
form.
Water Department is an enterprise entity, if I'm not mistaken, and they have basically total control over the water and sewer that runs through this town.
And the only time that we would have any say would be through the Select Board if they were to, we'll say, purchase town property versus using their own. In other words, if we had to give them advice on to whether or not it's worth selling it to them or not. Would that
That I
be the
do
only?
not know. I would have to defer to Rebecca.
So that it's all town property. It's all under the town's tax ID number, whether it be electric light or whether it be town hall or whether it be where the well is. The issue is the custody of the land, of the town land. So yes, they would need to seek approval from the select board in order to use land that was not designated per their use.
Okay, so I guess ultimately my question is, there's really no transfer of money when this happens. They just kind of deed it to them through like an eminent domain situation?
Well, again, it's town property. There's no changing of property. It's allowing a use on the property.
Okay, all right, thank you.
It would come down to left pocket, right pocket at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd be paying ourselves. And if we had to pay anything, believe me, the water department would find a way to charge us back.
Thank you.
Anything else?
If we could do a master schedule like we did previous years. If we could
For
work on
the
that
department?
Yeah, just because I know those are earlier in the day, just for planning purposes, that would be appreciated.
Absolutely, and I promise to get the agendas out much earlier now that I have the template on my work computer. It'll make my life a lot easier. We'll get that out early every month, so everybody can prepare. Mark, anything?
No.
Melissa, anything?
I'm all set.
Okay, well, no other items not reasonably anticipated at the time? Melissa?
No?
Nothing, Mark?
Nope.
Adam?
Nothing?
Brian? Nothing, okay. Well, I wish to thank all the committee members for showing up and putting in their time and effort. I know it's not easy, and I really sincerely thank all of you for, what you do and what you do for the town. It makes a difference.
Yeah, can I actually just say one thing?
Sure you can, always.
Thank you. No, I just, the board is aware of it, but I just wanted to let residents know that Ruth Rivard had resigned from the board after, I think, nearly a decade serving, so just wanted to thank her for the time she has spent.
I had actually, I was going to wait till the next meeting, because I think that's when she was going to send her a letter, but I could not agree with you more. Ruth Rivard has been a pillar of this committee for a decade. The things she has done throughout this community in her time here will not be forgotten. We owe her, and everybody in this town really owes her a huge debt of gratitude for everything she's done over the time. She's done all the effort she's put in, the time she's put in. She is really a remarkable woman, and this committee will truly be less for her not being here. And I sincerely thank you, Ruth, for everything you've done. And I know you're going to stay involved in the town because you're that type of person. Love you. Anyone else?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
All right, then we're looking for somebody to say those magic words.
Motion to adjourn, 6:45 PM.
We have a motion to adjourn at 6:45. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I say, seeing as there's none, all those in favor? Aye, perfect. Thank you, folks. Thank you, folks.